It's about to work now. Where are them? Where are y'all? I need y'all's help. I hope the people that oh, y'all are back? Let me know y'all are back, cause I can't tell. I don't know where to look. I don't know anything. All right. I I'm sorry. I clearly don't know how to use this. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me? I don't know where the messages go. I don't know if there are messages. Can somebody type something because I have no idea. And I wanna talk to y'all and I wanna ask y'all something. Oh, I figured it out. Hold potentially inappropriate messages for review. Chat messages will be flagged in chat for you or your moderators. I don't have no moderators. I guess I'm my own moderator. You can turn this on. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it on. Okay, let me see what y'all are saying. Oh, my daughter's in here. Hey, gorgeous. Hey, pretty lady again. Hey, tried and true. Hi, Woozy. My daughter's in here, y'all. Say hi to my everything. Her name is Naija. Her name is Isha Girl 9. Okay. Yeah, so be careful because I'm doing a live and I know you don't want to be in it. You heard me? Be careful because I'm doing a live and I know you don't want to be in it. She will take my head off. Okay? Anyway, I am 32 and I'm sorry if I'm not looking in the right direction. I have Wooji, where is the camera? Where does this thing where does it go? I mean, sorry, where should I be looking? Straight ahead? Where's the camera? I don't know what to look at. Is it this yellow light right in the top, the front, the center? Pretty lady says look up. Am I looking now? Y'all know how I am. I like to look people in their eyes. Okay. Thanks, y'all. Thank you, Wooji. My everything. Claudia, my daughter's in here. Y'all say hi to my Woogie. Her name is Nija. She has the hearts. And there's an accent over her A. Cause I hate when it damn like you can put it in the phone, but definitely not the laptop. Thanks for showing my baby some love, y'all. I tell y'all all the time, I love y'all and I don't even know y'all. Okay, so getting back to Pretty Lady's question. I'm 32. I will be 33 this year. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I feel like time is flying. And that's why I tell my everything all the time. Just don't rush it. Cause y'all know we like to be damn grown, and don't rush it because you'll look back. Next thing you know, you'll be like me and you'll be like, damn, where did the time go? But yeah, I'll be 33, and I'm not sure if you've seen any of my previous videos, but just to give you a brief synopsis, I am from New York. I live in New York, born and raised in Southside Jamaica, Queens. Now, Southside Jamaica, Queens is the area that 50 Cent made popular. It did? Okay. I love you, pretty. I love you. I miss you already. And my video, it still didn't download. That's what I'm waiting for, y'all, to show my video. It's done. I'm just waiting for it to download. It's annoying sometimes when you do the videos from your phone. At least iPhone. Yeah. And I restarted it a few times. I canceled it. I redid it. All sorts of stuff. It's still not coming up, Nija, and it's pissing me off. I'm sure you already know. And you're not here to damn, I'm struggling right now. Did she start your hair? Is it washed? Did anything? I'm sorry, y'all, fellow queens, please don't leave yet. If there are any kings in here, please y'all don't leave. My daughter's about to leave the room, so. I don't like that, Woogie. So, did she start your hair? Okay, so after oh, she's braiding your hair now? So you have your whole Saturday with your father. That's good. That's good. Well, try to come back, or I love you more. I miss you. But I'll text you when I get off live. All right, y'all, fellow queens, and if there are any kings in here, I just want to first off thank you for your patience, because I was not expecting my everything to come in my chat. She doesn't watch my videos, all my videos, so it just melted my heart to see her just now. She is definitely my kryptonite, and she knows that. So anyway, back to what you were asking, pretty lady. So Southside Jamaica, Queens, 50 Cent made it big, like really, really big, because In almost every song, he's talking about, I'm from Southside Jamaica, Queen, you heard me, and all this other stuff. Y'all see I don't use the N word. But in that excerpt, he did. So his grandmother actually to this day lived around the corner from where I lived for almost 11 years. Little fun fact. I've seen him a few times. I've spoken with him a few times. Completely opposite of what you see on television or what you read, and completely opposite of that. Really nice guy, actually. So is Lloyd Banks. He's a nice guy as well. So my direct, the area, the neighborhood I was actually born in is known as Parv City, which is short for Poverty City, which is a subsection of Southside Jamaica, Queens. Like Jamaica, Queens, New York is a very big area. So within that area, you know how they have like subsections or whatever. So my subsection is called Damn Poverty City. I don't like that, but you know. So I I was doing really, really well in school. Always did real well, but you know, you get caught up in the life. I did some stupid things. I, for a long time, lived a life of regret, and that's an everyday battle. And that's partly why I'm here too, because within our community, I feel like we don't know and we don't really talk about mental health, behavioral health, the difference between the two. A lot of people are quick to make comments on either of the two and will be dead ass wrong. And that's kind of the problem in this day and age, because people's either lack of a desire to educate themselves because it doesn't directly affect them, or people's misinformation, lack of information, any of those results in people not getting the treatment they need, or people getting the wrong treatment, or the wrong support, the wrong suggestions, recommendations, things like that. And more people are only dying. You know, I heard today about some shooting, because I try to stay away from the news. It bugs me out. But I heard about some shooting. It's not going to stop. It's not. We have to treat the cancer of humanity, which is mental health, trauma that people are going through and are not being treated for. It's crazy. I don't know what y'all think. Is it just me? What? Because seeing what I see, hearing what I hear, going through what I go through at work, it just has me. I know, pretty lady. I have so many stories. I've been in mental health for years, so some of the things that I hear from my clients, or some of the behaviors within my clients, or like we have to do an assessment once a year. And when I do that comprehensive assessment, I discover some things that some people have been through that you would see in a rated R film. For real. It's crazy. And those are the people walking this earth, you know? We got to do better. We got to do better. So, but going back to what I was saying, because this is, I don't know if this is our first interaction or if you saw my video and never commented. Regardless, I appreciate you being here right now, because y'all could be anywhere else in the world, but y'all right here with me. Really, it's no joke. So I was just trying to give you a timeline real quick, and then I'm gonna touch on that. So I grew up there. I did a lot of bad things. I saw a lot of bad things. I really been through some, I mean, boil your hot water to wash your ass type. I mean, one parent missing a whole parent out here type of, you know? And I was always so good in school, so good, so good. And I threw that all away and started hanging out with the wrong people, dropped out of school, always had a job. So I meet my daughter's father at my job, get pregnant, have a baby, and then just start working. To this day, now, I always had a desire to make more money. I was never comfortable where I was. I always tried to elevate, I guess. So it's kind of what brings me where I am in terms of my career. And 5 years ago, March 14th will be 5 years I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So MS I do have, which results in me often, like in every video, stop, pause, hesitate, look away, um, convey like some dyslexic symptoms, like saying the last word first or the first word last, um, possibly saying the wrong word, but the context in which I use the word will be correct. So you will understand what it is I'm trying to say. And I was watching some video back and it just made me want to cringe because I was saying, like, I'm trying to think of the word. And this is another thing I go through. It's so hard for me to finish my sentences, but that's why I'm here. I need people to know it's okay. I need people to know that can't be an excuse for you not to go out there and be great. So, but if there's a word like, let's say, golf, then I'll say golf. Or, like something like that. But you'll understand based on the context of the sentence what it is I'm trying to say. Okay, I remember now. I remember because I was saying I didn't know what that was, and I was interested in learning more about it. And that's why I really appreciate the comments I get, the emails I get, the feedback I get, because first of all, it lets me know this is a topic of conversation, even if only for 3 people. I know at some point my voice will get louder. As I've been saying for months, I want to spark the fire that will ignite the explosion to change the world. And that's pretty deep. I'll be saying like some deep stuff, but I don't have a lot of subscribers, Because one time I said, our society has polarized views with rose-colored glasses. And someone would really have to imagine that to understand what that meant, A polarized view, white or black, no gray area. Rose-colored glasses, you don't have clear vision. When you combine the two, so you have a black or white belief of things, and and your belief is dimmed by whatever. So I'll say stuff like that depending on what it is I'm talking about, but I don't have a lot of subscribers yet because I already claim it. I know it's going to happen because my passion is just too strong. You know, the job I have, right? True T, the job I have, you are supposed to have a degree for, which I'll have in a second. But when I started some years ago, I didn't have one. And technically, to this day, in this moment, I don't have one. However, I had the experience working with the population I serve now. And at that time, the time I was hired, all you needed was experience. You needed either or, either a degree that would be human services or psychology, whatever, something within the realm of mental and behavioral health, and or the experience. So I fell under one of the two brackets. 3 months after I was hired, they changed the requirement. Sorry, they changed the requirement to where now you need to have your degree. So had I not been placed in that same spot in that same moment, I wouldn't have been able to be there. Now, the person who hired me was terminated on the day I was hired. The day, literally the same day I was hired, she was terminated. And for like half a year, I thought it was my fault. I really felt bad. I'm like, oh my God, this lady, maybe there were other people who did have degrees and the degrees should trump damn experience. Like, I was really tripping myself out. It wasn't until like 6 months later I found out why she was really fired, which had nothing to do with me. But can you imagine? That's why I always say to anyone listening to me, the power of your brain and how that ties into psychology and how that can really F someone up. You know, pretty lady, one day, somehow, I don't know when and I don't know how, but somehow I would like to talk to you about that, but on my channel, if you don't mind, just to show everyone how we're all alike. True shit. The crazy thing about me, right? When I was younger, all I knew was fighting. That's all that was around me. And back in the day, not to say that I'm that old because I'm only 32, but back in the day, if you had a problem with someone, you fought them. As I got older, that turned into cutting them. And then when I entered my 20s, it turned into shooting them. I lost a lot of friends, either because they were murdered or because they murdered somebody. I've said before too, I've held two of my friends while they took their last breath. A good friend of mine died. He was shot and killed by someone else I grew up with on my 17th birthday. I've been through so much shit, y'all. Y'all have no idea. And that's why I try to I try so hard to tell anyone with ears that is listening to me why it's not worth it. Because I have some clients that are teenagers and they have a mental illness. So any little thing at school, somebody's messing with them or talking about somebody they like or some type of foolishness, they come to me. I'm a, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Da 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 da. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, firstly, I'm not big on that talking. That's not the era I came from. It's either left or right. There is no gray. There is no in between. If you have a problem, let's figure it out. Your response will depend upon my response. You know what I'm saying? So if we can handle this maturely, which is what I really try to do. But if that can't be, then it can't be. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But all this talking about and plans of, that's not my style. That's not anybody I roll with style either, you know? So I came on here and Tasha K was doing and saying some, she offended me quite a few times, quite a few times. But I said, right, in a previous video, I said, I'm not fucking with her right now. I unsubscribed. She keeps coming up in my recommendations, but I don't care. I'm not watching her, and I don't want to watch too much about her either because all it's going to do is piss me off. And it's not a good look for anyone to be pissed off. You know what I'm saying? So, but then I also said, we are all human. We all make mistakes. We all do things that make us cringe. And if she comes back in a different place, in a different headspace, and she moves differently, I will congratulate her and I will subscribe. We all deserve second chances. There's not a person walking this earth that can really sit there and pass judgment on something else someone did and then say, you know what, I'm done with you for the rest of your. None of us are God. We can't do that. Or if you believe in Mother Nature or whatever it is you believe in, nobody is in the position to say, oh, well, this person did this and now they're the worst person in the world and I'm never going to be friends with them. You may not want to, let me retract that. You may not want to be their friend, but to have hate and malice in your heart when we all make mistakes and we can all change, you know? It's cold, y'all. I don't understand that. So I said if she changes her behavior, then I'm gonna support her again. But she really has some changing to do. Like after what she did, I really like Sweet Ma. I don't know her, but I like her. I like her blatant innocence. I like her blatant naivety. I like her love for her child because let me tell you some true shit. There are some people that have children that are dark skinned, have children that are ugly to them, have children with illnesses, mental, physical, emotional, psychological, whatever. And they give those kids away. They don't want to love and care for those kids. They are embarrassed, really. And that's a fact. I know personally situations where that was done. So I know this to be true. And despite all it takes to raise a child like that, who needs your understanding, your love, your care, and everything else to that degree, and she still loves and is not ashamed to show him, yeah, I like her. I like her. And maybe I'm offensive. Maybe I'm sensitive about that, y'all, honestly, because I'm sick too. You know what I'm saying? And I will never forget the last person I had this interaction with, right? We had plans to go to some outside concert, right? And it was a certain time set, and we had specific plans. She was driving. The girl wanted to go and get her friend, and she wanted to get to the park early so that she could get, I guess, like the best seat in the grass, because that's what we were in, grass. So I agreed to go, whatever, even though it wasn't really my cup of tea, outside concerts and stuff, but I still agreed to go because it was a nice Saturday, sunny outside. Why not? So when we got to her friend's house, right? Her friend was a male. Due to things that I've said on my channel, I've admitted to fellow kings and queens in my last live, specifically in my last live. I don't like to be in those situations. I just don't. So I was in a situation where I felt uncomfortable already, you know? And in that situation, I had to go and get redressed, right? Because I'm going to be in grass and dirt, maybe mud, who knows? Plus, I didn't have a chair. So, one thing about having multiple sclerosis, your balance is off and you are weak, right? So, I cannot stand up at DMV lines or at what's the other one? Basically anywhere that has a long line. I just cannot stand up for more than like 10 minutes. I can't stand up and wait for any. I can't stand up, period. Let me just say that. I can't stand up for a long time. So now I got to get a chair. You know what I'm saying? I got to change my clothes because I got to put something on. I can't wear heels. I can't wear damn open-toed shoes. I got to redress. So when it came time for us to go our separate ways, right? She told me, you know, I don't know if you don't want to go or if there's something wrong, but you're moving too slow. So I don't want you to come. You know how certain things you just can never forget that? First of all, before I finish, you did? I didn't know that, pretty lady. I love her. And you know, she shared one of my videos, and before that even happened, I told her, yo, I'm gonna put my case management hat on. Let me set you up for certain things that you're entitled to, which I know you're not aware of being entitled to, and set some things up for your son. Let me help you with that. Let me do what I do for a living for you. and I'm waiting for her for that. But before I tell y'all, can y'all tell me, how would you respond if someone that you knew for years, you used to work with, and knew your situation? How would you respond if that person said to you, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I don't want you coming with us no more? How would y'all respond? Let me know in the comments, and then I'm gonna tell y'all how I responded. Let me know, because now I'm older. Maybe it was me. Maybe I was sensitive. Oh yeah, I know that, Queen. I know that, Claudia. But just imagine the situation. Y'all know I get my eyelashes done. Ironically, she goes to the same place I go to get my eyelashes done. Y'all see? Just a part of me trying not to look the way I feel. Well, remember, we were we had just came out of basement that the basement of her friend's house. So my car was one place, her car was another place, and we were supposed to separate so we could get dressed and stuff. Okay, pretty lady, how would you, and who else is in here? State your presence. We want you. We want to know who you are too. But pretty lady, how would you respond, or how would you feel if someone who you were with the whole day, y'all got your eyelashes done, or y'all met each other? That's what happened. I ran into her while I was getting my eyelashes done. She was leaving and I was coming in. Told me about some concert in the park. Then she told me she had to pick her friend up or whatever. I think her friend had the tickets and was giving them to us for free. I can't remember. But trying to think. Whatever it was, she had to go to the friend's house. So we got there and we stayed not long, few minutes. Is buffering? I don't know what to do. Still? Is it still buffering, Queen? Okay. Okay. All right. I love you for that, pretty lady. But can I tell you? So, first off, sometimes, and I'm sure y'all can attest to this, when things happen, you are so taken aback, you have no response, right? Because, and I don't think this ever came up, but when her registered nurse grandmother, and There was a cup of noodle soup at the edge of the counter. And at 1 years old, she grabbed the cup of noodle soup and it spilled all on her face, all down her neck, all on her chest, all on her back, on her ear, in her scalp, everywhere. She was burning 65% of her body. My baby, my everything. She actually went to the hospital the 9/11 victims went to, too. And they did an amazing job. If you saw her, you wouldn't even know. I forgot why I even told y'all that. Oh, to tell y'all, when I walked in, I had just gotten home from work. I used to be a supervisor at the bank, and I went to his house to pick her up. And when I knocked on the door and I came in and I saw my baby's skin hanging from her face like masking tape, I literally did not say anything but what happened. People always say, oh, I would have fucked them up. I would have cursed them out. I would have done this. I would have done that. Just like with this story I'm telling y'all now, when you are really in shock, all those fights I had, all those people I cursed out, all that shit I did when I was younger, that all goes out the window when it's really something near and dear to you. That is a scientific fact. So, with my having MS, right, and I was newly diagnosed, I was like maybe 1 year in. This happened a minute ago. So, I know I move slow. Who knows that better than me? Who the hell else is going to be able to tell me that it takes me a longer time to bathe, a longer time to do everything pretty much, except type? I don't know if y'all heard that, but I can type 54 words a minute. Another fun fact. How do you function with those nails? That's how. Probably better than you. Okay? But anyway, I was so caught off guard and I never spoke to her again. That's why I was telling you, Claudia, let me get back to you on that because I never spoke to her again. And I still run into her from time to time at the eyelash place. I still see her. Like I saw her like 2 months ago. Before that, I saw her like 6, 8 months before that. I still see her. You're right, pretty lady. Pretty lady, they are my comfort. Not looking the way I feel is my comfort. Looking normal, like other 32-year-olds, is my comfort. You're absolutely right. So when she said that, initially I didn't respond, right? So as I'm on my way home, of course, I call my mother. My mother is literally my best friend. I'm an only child, and my mother was so overprotective of me. I was never allowed to go out or do anything until I started rebelling and just not giving a. That's partly why I started too. So, she still to this day is my best friend. I still have another best friend. You know who you are. Love you, bestie. And my daughter is my best friend. But in terms of something immediate, something that is right there, my mother or my daughter, either one, but the only two. So I called my mother and immediately started crying. And I mean that boo hoo, sucking the snot up cry. I was crying and I was crying hard. And it's so funny because I don't cry. I don't know why, y'all. Maybe because I've been through so much, I've seen so much. I don't know. But I do show emotions. I do show my passion and stuff. Who's the spoiled brat? Me? If you talking about me, I'm very spoiled. I'm an only child. Anyway, um, damn, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so I started crying hysterically, and my mother, who is old school, my family's from the South, she always tries to instill strength in me, So although I find solace in her, she isn't the type to just sit there and coddle a grown woman either, even if it is her daughter. So, but that time she did definitely coddle me because I'm certain she could tell my tears weren't so much for being disinvited as much as it was because I have a hard time moving around. And that completely changed my life. Like, I legit can't do what I used to do with my friends anymore. And my friends still want to be out there and live their life. They still want to go to the club. They still want to go to concerts. They still want to be able to stand up, hang out, and shake a tail feather all night. And I can't do that anymore. So I either have to find other things to do or other people to hang out with, or both. That bothers me to this day. Just being honest, and I always pride myself on being honest on this channel, not lying, not embellishing. So I can be honest and say that still bothers me, because it's a difference between not doing something because you get older. Excuse me. Pretty lady, I'm sure you're an adult. So what you used to do, you may not do today in this moment. So let's say, for example, not saying you do, but I can't think of anything else. So let's say you used to smoke weed when you were in your 20s. And let's say now you're in your 30s and you don't smoke weed anymore. That is your choice not to smoke weed. You're not staying away from weed because your doctor told you if you do it again, you're going to die. You're doing it because you feel you've grown, you've matured, and or you want to get a new job, or you don't like how it makes you feel, whatever. That's the reason you choose not to smoke. The difference between that and my situation is I feel like my options were taken from me. I wasn't given the option of maturing out of going to the club every weekend. I don't feel like I was given the option to no longer wear stilettos, you know? I don't feel I was given the option to stay away from people because I really don't like them to see me, or I have to explain why I shake. That's why it's difficult to accept. That's why it's difficult to deal with, because I feel like the Jocelyn I knew as a person was taken away from me without my consent, without me being aware that it was about to happen. None of that. I literally went from being able to, they used to call me the twerk queen. And I said that in my last live. I used to, now don't get me wrong, can I still dance? Yeah. Can I still twerk? A little bit. Can I twerk the way I used to? No. Can I twerk as long as I used to? No. And that bothers me, because it would be different if I no longer twerked because I'm 32 now. I don't want to be twerking unless it's for my man or something, versus, oh, well, my balance is off, so I don't have the balance to twerk, or I don't have the leg strength to twerk. That's completely different. So that's why mentally it's hard to accept. When I was first diagnosed, I didn't feel any different. Everything. Hold on, I'm gonna read that. Um, Everything I'm dealing with right now in this moment is completely different from 5 years ago when I was first diagnosed. I was still able to wear heels. I was still able to convey my thoughts with ease without having to stop and think of what I'm trying to say, or remember what I'm trying to say, or think of the word I'm trying to say. Like, it was just almost like night and day, almost a complete 180-degree angle. But over time, as I started to notice how my legs would pain me, and that I collapsed in Manhattan on my birthday, on my 28th birthday, literally 1 year after I wore my favorite heels, my first pair of red bottoms. I wore them the following year and went from being able to joke around and jog all the way down the block and around the corner to wearing the same exact shoes and falling. I didn't realize at first why that was happening. I didn't understand the connection, and that it was skinny heels that were causing me to fall. So I wore them again, not the same exact shoes, but like a different kind. And I collapsed again the next day. It took a few instances where that kept happening. Like the very next year, once again, I wore some shoes, and I was with my daughter's father, ironically, because remember, we're still real cool, even though we're not pumping and grinding. Um, so we went out for my birthday, right? And I literally parked like 100 feet away from the entrance of this hotel, because I was going to a hotel rooftop party. So I get out. I used to have a Camaro, so it's a two-door, and it's more confined than the car I have now. It's not that small, but it's kind of small. So I kind of struggled to get out. But then when I was walking across the street, y'all, my legs started shaking like this, literally like this. So my daughter's father grabbed my arm, and we walked across the street, arm in arm. So I get in the entrance of the hotel and I'm still shaking, but I'm refusing to leave Manhattan and go home and not celebrate my birthday. So when I get there, right, the guy, the guy who checks ID, he said, "What's wrong with you?" Still not realizing the shoes is affecting the shoes are affecting my equilibrium and my balance. And that's why I'm shaking like that, because I don't drink, I don't do drugs. Back then, I don't even think I was drinking like that. So I wasn't under the influence of anything. It really made no sense as to why I was shaking. My legs were shaking profusely. So he was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I think I told him, "Oh, my shoes hurt, my feet hurt," or something like that. Just something to, I guess, deflect and get him away from what was happening with my legs. So more people start to come in, right? Now it's my daughter's father, my girlfriend, her friend, and myself. It's four of us. One of the people I didn't know prior to that situation, so I was thoroughly embarrassed. This is our first encounter, and this is what's happening to me. Once again, all in the mind. So I'm thoroughly embarrassed. And he asked me again, "What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?" And then he was like, "You can't come in." So I was like, "No, you can't tell me I can't come in. I just came all the way from the boroughs and it's my birthday and da 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 da." So he says, "Go sit over there." So the four of us, we walk over to, like, there was like a bench. I sat down, everybody else stood up. A slew of people, like 100 people came in. He checked every single person's ID, and then he called me over. Then he checked all our IDs, and then he let us go. But not before saying, "Don't come in here drunk again." It's so funny because one of the slogans of MS is, "We're not drunk, we have MS." So how ironic was it for him to really think that I was drunk? And that's why only my legs were shaking. He made me walk a straight line. He made me take my shoes off. Getting in the club wasn't that important to me. What was important to me was proving to him I was okay. At this age in life and at where I am with my illness, I would never allow no like that. You know what I'm saying? So, let me see what you said, pretty lady. No, I'm still live. What's up? You want to say hi? Do you want to say anything on Black History? You are so right, pretty lady. And what's so funny is only someone of your stature would know that. You know, a lot of people, myself included, because we all learn and gain, I know, And let me show you my MSID card. Hold on, y'all. We all grow and gain education in life at different times, you know? So some of us don't have sympathy in anything. Some people don't have sympathy in things they really should have sympathy of, you know? And I say that to say it makes some people laugh when they see people that can't see and are using those sticks to guide them or in wheelchairs and stuff like that instead of wanting to help them. Okay, so I gotta black out um my address and phone number and stuff. But see, damn, why is it blurry? My multiple sclerosis identification card, and then on the back can you read it? It says the person named on this card has multiple sclerosis and any of the following symptoms: loss of balance or coordination, difficulty walking or writing, numbness or partial paralysis, double or blurred vision, slurred speech, extreme fatigue. That's not even half of the symptoms I go through, but okay. My car's kind of rusty now, and I'm gonna have to get a new one. So yeah, like I was saying, you know, people don't have sympathy for things they don't understand. You know, I'm kind of wide down here, but my tummy's flat. So what did Nas say? People fear what they don't understand, hate what they can't conquer. Guess that's just the theory of man. That's the kind of music I listen to, child. Yeah, my name is on there. I do now. Wasn't always like that, sis. I'm not gonna lie. And for almost 3 years, I isolated myself from the world because I don't like people to see my hands shaking. I don't like people to see me bumping into walls. And I definitely don't like holding conversations with people to where you can't even, you sometimes can't understand what I'm saying. I didn't have the ID card at the time. I think that's what motivated me to get it, you know. Oh, thank you, Queen. See, I told y'all I love y'all and I don't even know y'all. I told y'all. I'm about to bring this shit outside. Talking about that, talking about my triggers, definitely makes me want to smoke. Hold on, y'all. Let me just get out so I can sit down. And that's another thing. I always gotta sit down. I can't be standing up and ooh, see. But yeah, as you were saying, Claudia, it's funny because at this stage in my life, I can I can say I'm that way as well for the most part. Some days I wake up and I'm mad. Some days I wake up and I'm sad. There are things I wasn't able to and still am not able to do with my daughter. Just little things people take for granted. Going to the park, um, showing your kid how to bike ride, showing your kid how to jump double dutch. I was on a double dutch team. That's like a black girl thing right there, playing double dutch. That's one of many things I can't experience with her. So, speaking of what you say, pretty lady, part of the reason I created this channel was to no longer